it's Romy. Welcome to my channel, beautiful Pisces. This is your May 2020 reading. If you have Sun, Rising or Moon in Pisces, this is a general reading, but it might resonate for you. If it does and you're enjoying my work, please do drop me a like and a comment, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel to help support me. If you would like to join me for the extended reading or to connect with me over on my website, you can find all of the links for that in the description box underneath. So let's go ahead and see what's coming out in May.
Okay, Pisces, let's take a look and see what the energy story is for May for you. We're moving into Taurus season. So this lovely earth energy giving us some grounding, some nourishment, and I think inviting you to find a little bit more patience where you need it, and particularly if you're kind of caught up in that conflict or there's just a lot of challenge or drama going on around you just now. I think with the Five of Wands to open, this is a bit of a focus around where you're feeling conflicted over something within your mindset. And I kind of want to say to you, Pisces, that, you know, you're not meant to have all of your shit together and everything figured out all of the time, you know? I just think some of you are being incredibly hard on yourself at the moment, thinking you should be further on or be able to make more meaningful headway or kind of show up in a way that's more positive than perhaps how you're feeling at times. You know, maybe you're in an environment where, you know, things have really started to kind of get to that point of feeling very frayed around the edges. You know, there's a lot of short fuses, you know, and if that is the case and you keep finding yourself in the center of those quarrels or arguments or just feeling really conflicted about how you're handling things, then I just need to say, give yourself a break, just take a moment, take a beat. You are doing the best that you can. And you know, we're moving into retrograde season, so 4 planets taking a backspin. And what that does is always gives us the opportunity to review and reassess. But I want you to come at it from a place of how far you've come, how much you've been able to cope with, how much has cracked you open and you've been able to step forward into some beautiful new growth. And even now, in this current extraordinary time, the way that you are finding a sense of balance, even if it isn't 24/7, even if it's just for moments in the day, I think that you are doing exceptionally well. There is this kind of note about energy exchange, and perhaps for some of you, you are feeling a little bit of the stress or tension. Maybe you're the one that's taking the lion's share of something, you know, or you're feeling like you want to give more and you don't know how. But there is something about the environment that you find yourself in just now, and either giving, you know, and not receiving enough, or just there being a little bit of a, you know, an imbalance there that needs to be acknowledged and addressed, okay? I do want to invite you to take a moment and kind of take a check-in with what's happening within your own energy just now, physically, mentally, emotionally, because I also have a sense that perhaps you're kind of trying to circumnavigate or, you know, bury or sort of put to the side, or yeah, I'll get to that later. And maybe because it's your, you know, you're trying to help others, or, you know, really there's just so much going on, or that you're trying to cope or kind of process. But I feel like it's just really important that you are listening to where you're being guided intuitively just now, because it's in that internal guidance that you're being shown how to kind of regain that balance if it feels out of kilter, okay? There's also something about you perhaps having to fight to receive something here. So maybe if you're looking for some justice, you know, maybe it's around financial support, you know, maybe it's just around getting somebody to help you, you know, or to in terms of relationships, communicate and open up, or to give you more of their time or energy. You know, regardless, there's some kind of a challenge that is being presented before you. What I'm going to say to you is, like, pay close attention to how this plays into what your story is. You know, do you see it as difficult and challenging to get what you need or get what you deserve, or to feel respected enough? because I think that there's an invitation here, you know, as we're in this retrograde time through this month of May, to really change something and to be easier on ourselves, more compassionate, kinder. And you know, the Hanged Man coming in, very Neptunian energy, which you are very kind of in touch with, Pisces, right? And that full moon that we have on the 7th in the sign of Scorpio has a beautiful aspect with Neptune. It is a very gentle, sensitive full moon. So it is going to afford you the opportunity to have those conversations, to be honest with yourself and others about what you need right now and what you're looking for, and perhaps to kind of dissipate some of that fractious energy that might be showing up. I also see that you just don't want to get involved here as well. And so maybe you're just taking yourself completely out of the equation right now. You know, there's this almost sense of suspended animation for you. It's just like, I don't want to deal with this. I can't deal with this. And you know what? Energetically, maybe that's the best thing for you to do right now, Pisces. You're going to find more solace. You're going to find more soul soothing by turning inwards and also just kind of surrendering into the situation. It's like the more that you fight and resist against something, the harder it's going to feel. I just think that you're moving through this month much more easily when you just give in and allow something to come in its natural timing. If there has been a delay for some of you with regards to finance, okay, because I do get that quite strongly as well. So if you're waiting on some support perhaps and you've had to fight for it, or you're still in the process of doing that and there is that delay coming through, I want to invite you, just spiritually speaking, right, because this is, you know, how we approach these readings, to look at the money story that you have. Look at how you feel secure. You know, do you have this understanding karmically that, you know, you are going to receive everything that you need in order to feel secure and protected and abundant? Or are you kind of in that very fear, lack-based energy right now where it's drawing up an awful lot of anxiety and stress? Work on your mindset and your energy field if you find yourself in a situation where things are not flowing or feeling really blocked in and around you. Now, I know that can sound, you know, quite trite if you're in that kind of physical experience right now where, you know, things are really tough, and on a practical level you need that help and support now. But if you are finding yourself powerless in a situation, you know, and the Hanged Man does ask you to do the ultimate surrender right now, okay, the ultimate surrender, that's when things are going to start to open up more easily for you. So 5 of Cups, couple of 5s coming out in your reading, and let's just take a moment to say that when we have 5 energy coming through, you know, it is about contrast, but it's also inviting us to, you know, look upon what it has to teach, what it has to show us. We're in a moment of struggle, okay, no doubt about that, and it might, you know, be coming up for you, Pisces, in different ways. You know, maybe it's coming up financially, maybe it's coming up because there's been an impact on relationships, even on your own kind of balance, your own mental health right now. You know, maybe it's something more serious and there's been real grief and loss around you at the moment. But the 5s are about this moment of challenge that we have to work through. But what we come out of as a result of that is with a new understanding, a new set of tools within ourselves to be able to cope with things moving forward. And also this recognition, and, you know, it is important to acknowledge that, you know, not everything is lost here. So what we perceive as loss, and that happens all day, every day. You know, the cycle of life is such that, you know, we're always coming up against things that need to come to an end and need to move out of our life experience. But there's always more here for us to be able to access. There is still positive things to acknowledge. There are still beautiful moments to experience and to share. There are still new connections and people that are going to show up. Now, they might not always replace what we've had, and that's okay too. They don't necessarily need to, but it doesn't mean to say that you're not still going to be able to tap into that upward, upside, positive opening of something new to experience in your life. And I think it's important that we just take a moment to kind of honor that. So regardless, I feel for you this month, Pisces, that you know, there is this element of feeling challenged and really conflicted over some specific area of your life. Now, with Venus moving retrograde in the sign of Gemini, this could well be in and around relationships for you. Go back to the spring of 2012. That was the last time this transit was active, retrograde in Gemini, and see if there are any key themes or perhaps people that were around you at that moment that may be playing out through the course of this next 6 weeks retrograde that we have. But it is also inviting you to put a real firm focus on passion and love and desire and, you know, what makes you feel good, right? We have communication coming in with the Page of Swords, and I have no doubt that there are certainly going to be some messages or some interesting people you know, coming into your radar through this month of May and into June that perhaps is coming as a bit of a surprise for you. But I also see you as being in an energy where you really need to express yourself over something. And remember, Taurus is all about third house, so it's that throat chakra energy for you. So what is channeling through you needs to come out. So whether that's in the written form, you know, whether that's speaking, or, you know, it has to be expressed. And I think that is actually going to give you an awful lot of healing. And maybe you need to just acknowledge what that loss is, or what that disappointment feels like, or what the challenge is that's going on within you, because actually by expressing it, acknowledging it, speaking, communicating to people about it, perhaps those that you know are going to support you or feel nurturing to you, that's where you're going to regain some balance as well in your life as well. Okay, I also see news traveling towards you though. And maybe, and I'm just going to be honest, Pisces, maybe there's something that comes in as a little bit of a disappointment to you. Not quite what you expected, not quite what you were looking for. Again, I want to say, remember, there are 2 cups upstanding here, okay? So all isn't lost with this. And I think that you are being invited to set the tone energetically of what it is that you're really looking for. You know, you don't have to accept the what is of reality all the time. We can actually allow ourselves to think beyond and to recognize that there is something about a cycle coming to a point of culmination in our life at the moment. You know, the world is ruled by Saturn. Saturn moving retrograde in Aquarius on the 10th, and that is in your 12th house of endings, of healing, of closure with regards of something. Now maybe there is an air sign involved here as well with that Page of Swords, a Gemini, Libra or Aquarius. But I do see you allowing something to come to a point of closure or an ending, or certainly to give yourself permission to kind of like set off on a slightly different direction in some way, okay? And you're kind of moving between 2 paths is what I feel. So there could be this kind of like odd state of affairs where there's almost like you're still wrapping something up and beginning something new, and kind of like dealing with like difficult low energy in one area, and then actually starting to feel really positive, optimistic and kind of buoyant about something else coming in, and again perhaps feeling a little bit conflicted about that. You know, how do I get to go through such a complex variety of emotions at any given point? Well, we all do right now. And as a mutable energy, you more than most, Pisces, have the ability to sort of almost have those 2 fish swimming in opposite directions and still find some sense of balance within. Now we have the North Node moving into the sign of Gemini on the 5th of May. South Node's going to be moving into Sagittarius, both mutable energies as well. So, you know, you're going to be able to identify with that aspect of changeability coming in really powerfully. We have the 3 of Coins coming through as well. So maybe there's something that is connected into work here where there has been a disappointment, or you're having to deal with a setback. But here I have you looking to the future and starting to think about how you can create something new for yourself. You know, and maybe there's just an expansion or an adapting that needs to take place. But I also really love the kind of openness that I get with the Three of Coins. There's a need for you to be able to connect and to communicate with other people, and I think that's really going to help you. Maybe you need the support to know what your options are, you know, what help is available to you, or where can you direct any new interest, you know, what are the resources and the people who can really step in and kind of show you that there is a way forward and there is a way through. And I think on a relationship front, you know, because there's going to be a firm focus about that through this month with Venus turning retrograde. I also want to say that it's almost like outside help, or kind of the you know, you're having more open, honest communications, but you know, maybe there's the influence of someone else, or you're even talking and thinking about the idea of like how you can take on board advice or inspiration from others to help you through this time. Okay, so I really love the energy of that 3 coming in for you through this month. When we move into Gemini season on the 21st, it's 4th house for you. So emphasis around house and home, that mother energy, the way that you're nurturing yourself, what's going on in the internal emotional landscape. Beautiful energy of the Fool coming through. Maybe you are just desperately seeking some freedom and independence right now, understandably so. Perhaps your mind is firmly focused on the adventures that you feel you're missing out on or that have yet to come, but certainly there is this need for kind of freedom of expression. And again, under that Page of Swords, I think I want to say to you, where is it that you feel you're either being restricted, you know, or you're being really pulled towards this idea of like, I need to speak freely on this matter or this subject, or I have to share this, I have to open up about this, it's so important. And you know, the powerful rays of the sun in this particular depiction of the Fool are so strong and vibrant and kind of pointing in the direction of where the Fool is heading, which is absolutely forward. You know, even though we've got all of these planets in a backspin, the Fool isn't going back. Remember though, if we look at, you know, the Fool in the world, this is the beginning and the end of the Fool's journey, right? And so he's already taken, you know, an incredible journey where he's gained and learned so much experience. He has all of that with him now, and he's setting off anew, but he's still optimistic and hopeful. You know, he hasn't been weighed down by the disappointment or the conflict or the things that haven't worked out or haven't been in his favor. He's just taking the experience, rich life experience, and saying, okay, now I know better. Now I'm going to make it better. And I think that that combined with the Three of Coins is really showing you perhaps what this theme of May is really trying to bring up, which is with the wisdom and the strength that I'm gaining from this whole experience, what I'm learning about myself and other people, about what my desires are, what I want, what life looks like now and what I want it to be in the future. I get to take all of that information and then I'm going to work on it, and I'm going to take the time to create something that is much more valuable and positive and kind of aligned with what I want for myself. And that could, you know, come in on the relationship front, getting really clear about kind of what you're looking for and being open and honest about that. On the work front, and just starting to feel more positive, enthusiastic about perhaps a new beginning, a fresh start, or just having the freedom and the chance to kind of get going on something, right? So I really like the energies of these coming in together for you, actually, to just start to see some progress following any kind of shutdown of that Hanged Man that kind of has you feeling in that slight limbo. Okay, Seven of Wands coming through. So again, this kind of aspect of challenge coming up, but it's drawing out of you a courage. It's drawing out of you a sense of what it is that you're actually fighting for. And maybe that's part of what is really unfolding as well here for you, Pisces. Maybe you're having to figure out, what is it that I'm fighting for and why? And you know, that can be on a bigger global scale, and then right down to very personal experience that you might be having right now with another person, or within, you know, your family or your work or business, friendships, you know. So that evaluating time that is coming up for you this month, I think is so important to help steer you and keep you on track so that you can find more balance and harmony with how you navigate through this time, okay? What you want is available to you, where you are willing to open up to new possibilities, be bold in your thinking, apply yourself, not spend too long on looking at what hasn't worked, but keeping an open mind toward the future, and maybe it doesn't show up as the exact person. Maybe it isn't that business or that specific job or that house, but what can come in can be exactly what you're looking for energetically, or better, if you choose to give yourself permission to think about that in a new way. So your oracle card coming through is kindred spirits, spirit companions, guides, comfort. And I do think you are really seeking the nurturing to kind of find people who understand what you're going through right now. And I think some of you are, you have a lot on your plate. There is a lot of challenge here, but there's also a lot of support and help available, but you're not going to find it unless you reach out and communicate. So there's something about needing to kind of, you'll receive that comfort, that support, doors will be open to you, but you have to take the first step. And perhaps to do that, there's something that is going to feel quite difficult for you, because maybe you're not used to sort of like asking for help for yourself. Maybe it feels more difficult to be really honest about how you're coping or what your experience or what you're going through at the moment. But if you can, and if you do, that's when I really see this breakthrough and this beautiful wave of energy coming in to make you feel more secure, more supported, more nourished. Okay, we have your card. How beautiful. So eclipse in Pisces, free will, serving your higher purpose. I love the kind of tropical feeling of this card coming through, the fish flying through the air, and look at the water and how calm it is. So there's a calmness here. Remember, eclipses are about the revelation of information, dramatic shifts in our way of thinking and, our life experience absolutely going on right now. But what's happening is helping to serve your higher purpose at the moment. So there is this kind of spiritual surrender that's needed, to allow things to unfold in a way that is supporting of your particular soul journey at the moment. And remember, you always do have free will. So even if you feel constricted, even if you feel that things are, making it almost impossible for you to exercise your own perspective, that freedom of expression, remember we talked about that, there are still ways in which you can do that, and you must still innately feel free, because that energy is still available to you regardless. So don't allow anything to kind of hem you in too much, is what I want to say. But beautiful to have that card of eclipse in Pisces coming through to support you. I do want to say, from a relationship perspective with this Venus retrograde coming up, I think, please expect that there may be some communication or messages, traveling towards you, or that you're really feeling compelled to reach out to somebody from your past. With that World card coming in, I think there is this sort of like coming full circle with something. So maybe there's just a closure, there's a very kind of karmic element to that transit with regards to relationships. So, allowing yourself to move past any loss or disappointment and really free yourself up from something, okay? I see that kind of coming in with a full energy. There's just like this freedom that you're affording yourself by an action that you're taking. Maybe you decide not to respond to somebody, or there is a really important, conversation that takes place and does free you up. I do see that financial support coming in for those of you that are really seeking that at the moment, and there is bright new prospects in terms of new work ideas and creativity coming in to support you as well. So there is an awful lot to feel really forward thinking about this month, okay? Now, Pisces, if you have not already subscribed to the channel, please make sure you do so you don't miss any notifications for any future readings. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and pull us some additional cards for the extended reading, which will go into these energies in a little bit more depth. If you'd like to join me, you can find the description in the box underneath the video where the comment section is, and it will take you through to my website. What I'd like you to do right now is think about a question that I may not have answered in this general reading here, and I'm going to go ahead and pull us a couple of cards around that. Okay, so just taking a focus just now. Okay, so we'll look at those in the extended. So now just going to clarify these 9 cards for us. So the 5 of Wands, bringing in the Devil. Yeah, there's definitely some conflict, resistant energy going on here. King of Wands as well. Okay. 4 of Coins and the 6 of Coins here. I definitely think there's something financial that is really taking a firm focus for you this month, Pisces. Yeah, Knight of Coins. Could also be an earth energy, maybe someone who has really been holding back. There's always that kind of slightly breadcrumbing energy, I think, with the 6 of Coins. Okay, 2 just wanted to come out there, so I'm going to pull them both. 2 of Cups and the Hanged Man again. Okay, so where are you feeling stuck in a relationship, or maybe this is work as well as personal, it could be professional as well, but okay, choices, weighing something up here. Again, a note with the finances. Queen of Cups. Okay. There is a helping hand available to you this month, Pisces. You just have to look for it. 4 of Cups. Hermit coming in here. Star energy with the Fool. Beautiful. There is a lot of hope here. Ace of Swords, a new beginning over something. 7 of Wands, King of Swords. I feel like you're going to have to overcome or work around somebody who's being particularly problematic. I think you're going to be able to, though, Pisces. Another 6 of Coins here. Okay, let's just pull a couple more for these oracle cards. 10 of Wands. You don't need to do it all yourself, okay? You can't be all things to all people. Page of Coins. All right. Pisces, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you tuning in. And if you are going to come join me for the extended, we will continue this conversation. Otherwise, I wish you bright blessings for this month of May. Take good care.